My beloved child, I know your heart has been restless lately. So many things around you seem to be changing. Some changes were expected, others came without warning. There are moments when you wonder why doors are closing, why familiar places no longer feel the same, why the future suddenly seems so uncertain. I have seen every question that has crossed your mind. I have heard every silent prayer that never left your lips. Even when no one else noticed the weight you carried, I was there. Even when you smiled in front of others while your heart quietly trembled, I was beside you. So before fear speaks another word to you, listen to my voice. Be still for a moment. Let every anxious thought become quiet, because what I am about to tell you will strengthen your heart. My child, nothing that is happening around you has taken me by surprise. Not one closed door, not one delayed answer, not one tear, not one sleepless night. I have remained exactly where I have always been, watching over you, walking beside you, holding you even when you felt too weak to notice. You believe you are standing before an uncertain future, but I am already there. I have already walked the road that frightens you. I have already seen the days you cannot yet imagine. I know every conversation that will happen, every opportunity that will appear, every person you will meet, every blessing waiting in its appointed time. You are not walking toward the unknown alone. You are walking toward a future that my hands have already prepared. That is why I am asking you today. Do not let fear become louder than my promises. Do not allow if-she-does disappointments to tell you what tomorrow will become. The past cannot write the future I have prepared for you. My plans have never depended on your circumstances. They have always rested in my love. There are things I am removing that you cannot yet understand. There are paths I am clearing that your eyes cannot yet see. There are answers already moving toward you, even while you believe nothing is changing. Trust what my hands are doing beyond what your eyes can see, because this season is not the end of your story. It is the quiet beginning of something new. The changes before you are not here to destroy you. They are here to lead you where I have always intended you to be. So breathe deeply, my beloved. Lay down the burden you have been carrying for so long. You do not have to understand everything today. You only need to remember one truth. I have gone before you, and wherever I lead you, my love will already be waiting there. My beloved child, you spend so much time wondering what tomorrow will bring. You look at the road ahead and wish someone could tell you how everything will turn out. You search for signs. You search for certainty. You search for answers that seem just beyond your reach. I understand why. You have been disappointed before. You have trusted before. You have hoped before. And there were moments when life unfolded differently than you expected. That is why your heart hesitates now. But listen carefully to me. The future has never frightened me. There has never been a single day that caught me unprepared. Before the sun rises tomorrow, I am already there. Before you take your next step, my hand has already made a way. Before your questions are formed, I already know every answer your heart is searching for. My child, you only see what is standing in front of you today. You see one decision, one obstacle, one closed door, one uncertain season. But I see the entire journey. I see the people you have not met yet. I see the conversations that will encourage your weary heart. I see the opportunities that are quietly moving toward you. I see the prayers that are much closer to being answered than you realize. Nothing is hidden from me. Not even the details you have forgotten to pray about. Sometimes you become discouraged because you cannot see what I am doing. You mistake silence for absence. You mistake waiting for delay. You mistake slow progress for forgotten promises. But my beloved, my hands never stop working simply because your eyes cannot see them. There are paths I am preparing that would only confuse you if I revealed them too soon. There are blessings growing beneath the surface, just as seeds grow quietly beneath the soil before anyone sees the first sign of life. The seed does not doubt because it cannot see the flower. It simply remains where it has been planted until the right season arrives. I am asking you to trust me with that same quiet confidence. Not because you understand everything, but because you know the one who is leading you. You do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. You do not have to solve every problem before it appears. You do not have to predict every outcome to remain at peace. Leave those burdens in my hands. They were never yours to carry alone. When fear whispers that the future is uncertain, answer it with my truth. Tell your heart that your Father is already waiting in every tomorrow. Tell your soul that no step will surprise the one who walks beside you. Every place I lead you has already been touched by my presence. Every door I open has been prepared with purpose. Even the delays that frustrate you today are protecting you from roads that were never meant to be yours. One day you will look back and realize that what seemed like unanswered prayers were often my greatest acts of love. You will understand why I asked you to wait. You will understand why I gently redirected your steps. You will understand why certain plans had to change. Until that day comes, let your heart rest. You do not need to see the entire path to keep walking. You only need to trust the one who has never lost his way. So today, my child, take only the step I place before you. Do not run ahead of my peace. Do not let tomorrow steal the strength I have given you for today. Walk with me, and as you do, you will discover that every step forward has already been surrounded by my love long before your feet ever touched the ground. My beloved child, I know there are things you still miss. There are people you wish had stayed. There are opportunities you hoped would never disappear. There are seasons you quietly wish you could return to. Your heart has asked me more than once, why did this have to change? Why couldn't things stay the way they were? I have heard every one of those questions, and I have never been offended by them. I know that letting go is not easy, especially when you believed something would last much longer. But my child, not everything that leaves your life is taking something away from you. Sometimes it is making room for something far better. You often see a closed door. I see the doorway that is about to open. You see empty hands. I see hands that are finally ready to receive what I have prepared. There are moments when I gently remove what has become too small for the future I have planned for you. Not because it was evil, not because it had no value, but because you have outgrown it. A child cannot remain in the same shoes forever. The shoes did not fail. The child simply continued to grow. In the same way, there are relationships, places, and seasons that served a purpose for a time. Be grateful for them, but do not cling to them when I am lovingly leading you forward. Some people were part of your journey. They were never meant to become your destination. Some doors sheltered you for a season. They were never meant to become your permanent home. Do not mistake temporary gifts for eternal promises. I know exactly what belongs in your life, and I know what no longer does. Trust my wisdom even when my decisions are difficult to understand. There are things you have prayed for that I answered by removing something instead of adding something. You asked for peace, so I led you away from constant conflict. You asked for healing, so I began separating you from what continued to wound your heart. You asked for freedom, so I loosened the chains you had quietly become comfortable wearing. At first, those changes felt painful. But pain is not always proof that something is wrong. Sometimes it is simply evidence that healing has already begun. Do not fear the spaces that feel empty today. I have not abandoned those places. I am working within them. The silence you hear is not abandonment. It is preparation. The waiting you experience is not punishment. It is protection. The things you cannot yet hold are often the very things I am shaping with perfect care. So, do not rush to fill every empty place. Do not run back to what I have already asked you to leave behind. Do not reopen doors that my hand has gently closed. Rest, my beloved. Trust that my love never removes something without also preparing something greater in its proper time. One day you will see that what felt like loss was actually mercy. What looked like an ending was quietly becoming a beginning. What you thought had been taken from you was simply my hand clearing the path ahead. So, release what you have been carrying. Bless what has passed. Give thanks for every season. Then lift your eyes again. I am still leading you, and every step away from what no longer belongs to you is another step toward the life I have been preparing for you since the very beginning. My beloved child, I know there are things you still miss. There are people you wish had stayed. There are opportunities you hoped would never disappear. There are seasons you quietly wish you could return to. Your heart has asked me more than once, why did this have to change? Why couldn't things stay the way they were? I have heard every one of those questions, and I have never been offended by them. I know that letting go is not easy, especially when you believed something would last much longer. But, my child, not everything that leaves your life is taking something away from you. Sometimes it is making room for something far better. You often see a closed door. I see the doorway that is about to open. You see empty hands. I see hands that are finally ready to receive what I have prepared. There are moments when I gently remove what has become too small for the future I have planned for you. Not because it was evil, not because it had no value, but because you have outgrown it. A child cannot remain in the same shoes forever. The shoes did not fail. The child simply continued to grow. In the same way, there are relationships, places, and seasons that served a purpose for a time. Be grateful for them, but do not cling to them when I am lovingly leading you forward. Some people were part of your journey. They were never meant to become your destination. Some doors sheltered you for a season. They were never meant to become your permanent home. Do not mistake temporary gifts for eternal promises. I know exactly what belongs in your life, and I know what no longer does. Trust my wisdom even when my decisions are difficult to understand. There are things you have prayed for that I answered by removing something instead of adding something. You asked for peace, so I led you away from constant conflict. You asked for healing, so I began separating you from what continued to wound your heart. You asked for freedom, so I loosened the chains you had quietly become comfortable wearing. At first, those changes felt painful, but pain is not always proof that something is wrong. Sometimes, it is simply evidence that healing has already begun. Do not fear the spaces that feel empty today. I have not abandoned those places. I am working within them. The silence you hear is not abandonment. It is preparation. The waiting you experience is not punishment. It is protection. The things you cannot yet hold are often the very things I am shaping with perfect care. So do not rush to fill every empty place. Do not run back to what I have already asked you to leave behind. Do not reopen doors that my hand has gently closed. Rest, my beloved. Trust that my love never removes something without also preparing something greater in its proper time. One day you will see that what felt like loss was actually mercy. What looked like an ending was quietly becoming a beginning. What you thought had been taken from you was simply my hand clearing the path ahead. So release what you have been carrying. Bless what has passed. Give thanks for every season. Then lift your eyes again. I am still leading you, and every step away from what no longer belongs to you is another step toward the life I have been preparing for you since the very beginning. My beloved child, there are days when you wish you could hear my voice more clearly. You pray. Then you wait. You open your heart before me. Yet everything around you seems unchanged. The same questions remain. The same uncertainty lingers. And little by little, you begin to wonder if heaven has become quiet. But my child, silence has never meant absence. Just because I am not speaking in the way you expect does not mean I have stopped speaking. Look closely. Have I not carried you through days you never thought you could endure? Have I not given you strength when your own strength had nearly disappeared? Have I not surrounded you with small moments of peace, even in the middle of difficult seasons? Those were not accidents. That was my presence. I speak in more ways than you often realize. Sometimes I speak through a gentle peace that settles over your heart without explanation. Sometimes I speak through a door that quietly closes before you make a painful mistake. Sometimes I speak through unexpected kindness from someone you did not expect to understand you. And sometimes I speak through the stillness itself. Because it is in the quiet that your heart learns to recognize my presence instead of depending only on visible answers. If I answered every question the moment you asked, if I revealed every step before you took it, your eyes might become fixed on the answers instead of on me. But I desire something even greater. I desire that you know my heart. When you know my heart, you will not be shaken by temporary silence. You will remember my faithfulness. You will remember the countless times I have guided you before. You will remember that I have never abandoned you, my beloved. Even now, while you are waiting, I am arranging things you cannot yet see. Conversations are unfolding, hearts are changing, circumstances are moving. The timing of events is coming together with a wisdom far beyond human understanding. You may believe nothing is happening, but there has never been a single moment when my hands were still. I do not grow tired. I do not become distracted. I do not forget my promises. Every detail of your life remains safely within my care. So do not measure my work by what you can see today. Many of my greatest works begin quietly. The dawn arrives without making a sound. The flowers bloom without asking for attention. The seasons change one day at a time until suddenly everything looks different. My work in your life is often just as gentle. So gentle that you may only recognize it when you look back. One day you will see how perfectly every moment was woven together. You will understand why some answers came later. You will understand why certain opportunities had to wait. You will understand that I was never delaying your life. I was leading it with perfect love. Until then, my child, do not be discouraged by quiet seasons. Do not believe the lie that I have stepped away. Come to me just as you are. Sit with me without demanding immediate answers. Rest in my presence without feeling the need to understand everything. For the heart that stays close to me will always find peace, even before it finds explanations. Remain near me, my beloved. In time, you will discover that what seemed like silence was my gentle voice leading you all along. My beloved child, I know how easily the memories return. Sometimes they come without warning. A disappointment, a failure, a prayer that seemed to go unanswered, a moment when someone broke your trust. You tell yourself that you have moved on. Yet when a new season begins, those old memories quietly whisper to your heart. They tell you to be careful. They tell you not to hope too much. They tell you that tomorrow will probably look like yesterday. But, my child, the past was never meant to become the voice that guides your future. Only my voice can do that. I know every chapter you have already lived. I have watched you carry burdens that were heavier than anyone realized. None of those moments have been forgotten by me, but neither have they been given the authority to define what comes next. Do not build tomorrow from yesterday's pain. Build it upon my faithfulness. People may fail, circumstances may change, plans may fall apart, but I remain the same. My love does not change with the seasons. My promises do not weaken because life becomes difficult. My presence does not disappear when the road becomes unfamiliar. You have learned many things from your past. Some of those lessons have made you wiser. For that, be thankful. But do not allow wisdom to become fear. There is a difference. Wisdom walks with peace. Fear walks with suspicion. Wisdom listens to my voice. Fear listens only to old wounds. I did not heal your heart so it would spend the rest of its life hiding. I healed your heart so it could trust again. Trust me first, and then trust that I know how to lead you safely. There are beautiful moments ahead that do not resemble anything behind you. There are friendships that will not betray you. There are opportunities that will not disappear overnight. There are quiet days filled with joy that you have not yet imagined. Do not reject them simply because your past taught you to expect disappointment. My beloved, every sunrise is different from the one before it. Every season carries its own purpose. In the same way, I am not repeating your life. I am leading it forward. Even when the path feels familiar, I am accomplishing something new within it. Do not assume that because one door once brought sorrow, every new door will do the same. Do not believe that because one season was difficult, every future season must also be filled with struggle. That is not how I work. My mercies are new every morning. So are the opportunities I place before you. Lift your eyes beyond what has already happened. Look instead toward what I am doing today. I am not asking you to forget your past. I am asking you not to live inside it. Carry the lessons. Leave behind the fear. Carry the gratitude. Leave behind the regret. Carry the faithfulness you have seen from my hand. And let that become the foundation beneath your steps. So when old memories try to convince you that nothing will ever change, return your heart to me. Listen to my voice instead of your fears. Walk forward instead of looking back. For the future I have prepared for you has never been limited by the disappointments you have already endured. Take my hand, my child. There is still so much goodness ahead of you. And with every new step, you will discover that my plans have always been far greater than your past could ever imagine. My beloved child, you have often wondered why certain people entered your life so unexpectedly. Some stayed only for a short season. Some remained much longer. Others quietly walked away before you were ready to let them go. There were times when you questioned every goodbye. There were moments when you wished you could hold on a little longer. But my child, I have always known who would walk beside you, and for how long. No meeting has ever escaped my notice. No farewell has ever happened outside my care. Even when life seemed random to you, my hand was gently leading your steps. I know the people who encourage your faith. I know the ones who bring peace to your heart. I also know the ones who, without realizing it, lead you away from the path I have prepared. Because I love you, I sometimes guide people into your life. And because I love you, I sometimes guide them out. Neither is done without purpose. Do not be afraid when your circle begins to change. Growth often brings new surroundings. As you continue walking with me, your heart changes. Your priorities become different. The things that once satisfied you no longer do. The conversations you long for become different. The life I am building within you begins to draw you toward those who will strengthen that work instead of weakening it. That is my kindness, not my punishment. I do not want you to walk alone. I simply want you to walk with those who help you move closer to the life I have prepared. There are people you have not yet met who are already part of my plan for you. They do not know your name yet. You do not know theirs. But I do. I know the day your paths will cross. I know the words they will speak. I know how they will encourage you when your strength begins to fade. Just as I know how you will become a blessing in their lives as well. My plans are never built around chance. They are woven together with love and perfect wisdom. So do not become anxious when relationships change. Do not rush after those who have chosen another path. Do not believe that every goodbye is a sign that you have lost something precious. Sometimes a farewell is simply my gentle way of creating space for what comes next. Keep your heart soft. Do not allow disappointment to make you distant. Do not let past wounds convince you to close every door. There are still kind hearts in this world. There are still faithful friends. There are still people whose presence will remind you of my goodness. Receive them with gratitude when they arrive. Bless them while they are with you. And trust me if the season changes again. My beloved, more important than finding the right people is remaining close to me. When you stay near my heart, I will guide your steps. I will help you recognize what brings peace. I will gently warn you when something is not meant for you. You do not have to fear making every decision perfectly. Walk with me each day. Listen for my quiet guidance. I am more than able to lead you where you need to be. And I am more than able to bring the right people into your life at exactly the right moment. So release every relationship into my hands. Hold no one more tightly than you hold me. For the one who has already prepared your tomorrow has also prepared every companion you will need along the journey. Trust my leading, my beloved. You will never arrive anywhere that my love has not already gone before you. My beloved child, sometimes the future feels heavy because you are trying to carry too much at once. You think about tomorrow, then next week, then next month. Before long, your heart is weighed down by moments that have not even arrived. No wonder you feel tired. You were never created to carry an entire journey in a single day. I have not asked that of you. I never will. I ask only that you walk with me today. One step, one moment, one day at a time. That is how my grace has always been given. Not all at once, but exactly when it is needed. Think about all the seasons you have already lived through. There were days when you believed you would never make it. Days when your heart was exhausted. Days when you had no idea what to do next. Yet somehow, you are still here. Not because you were stronger than the trial, but because I quietly gave you the strength for that day. And when the next day came, I gave it again. That is how my faithfulness works. It arrives every morning, fresh, steady, never late. My child, do not borrow tomorrow's burdens. Tomorrow will also receive tomorrow's grace. If you carry both today and tomorrow together, the weight will always feel greater than it truly is. Lay down what does not belong to this moment. Breathe. Look at the day I have placed before you. There is enough grace for this day, enough wisdom for this decision, enough peace for this moment. You do not need next year's strength to obey me today. You only need the strength I am placing into your hands right now, and I promise you, it is enough. There may come a time when the road becomes steeper, when unexpected changes arrive, when your plans shift once again. Do not decide today that you will not be able to endure them. When that day comes, I will already be there. The strength you need is waiting with me. Just as I have gone before your future, I have also prepared the grace that belongs to every season ahead. Nothing will ask more of you than I am willing to supply. Nothing will enter your life without my loving presence beside you. So stop measuring tomorrow by the strength you feel today. Today's strength was never meant for tomorrow's battles. I prepare each day differently because I know exactly what each day requires. Some days you will need courage. Some days you will need patience. Some days you will simply need quiet rest in my presence. And I know how to provide each one at the perfect time. My beloved, you do not have to prove how strong you are. You do not have to pretend that nothing frightens you. Bring every weakness to me. Bring every anxious thought. Bring every fear about what lies ahead. I will never turn you away. The more you lean on me, the lighter your heart will become. For my strength is never diminished by your weakness. It is revealed through it. So when you wake tomorrow, do not ask whether you have enough strength for the rest of your life. Simply ask me to walk with you through that one day. Then trust that when another sunrise comes, my mercy will rise with it, just as it always has, just as it always will. Walk peacefully, my beloved. You will never face a single day without finding that my hands have already prepared everything your heart truly needs. My beloved child, there are times when you wish I would show you the entire path. You want to know where this road will lead. You want to know when things will become easier. You want to know how every unanswered question will finally be resolved. I understand those desires. But listen carefully, my child. If I revealed every step before you were ready to take it, you would no longer be walking by faith. You would be walking only by sight. And I have called you into something far more beautiful than certainty. I have called you into trust. Hold this truth close to your heart. You do not need to understand everything for my plan to be unfolding perfectly. There have already been countless moments in your life that made no sense while you were living them. Only later did you see how every step fit together. Only later did you recognize my hand guiding you. The same will be true again. The questions you carry today will not remain unanswered forever. In the right season, understanding will come. Until then, let peace come before understanding. My child, when a little child walks beside a loving father, that child does not study the map. The child simply reaches for the father's hand. That is the kind of trust I am inviting you into. Not a trust built upon knowing every detail, but a trust built upon knowing my heart. Stay with me for a moment. Think about how many times I have already proven my faithfulness. When you believed there was no way forward, I made a way. When you thought you had reached the end, I quietly opened another beginning. When your strength failed, my love carried you farther than you imagined possible. Have I changed since then? No, my beloved. The same hands that held you yesterday are holding you today. The same love that guided you before will continue to guide you tomorrow. That will never change. So do not become anxious because you cannot see beyond the next few steps. The light I give you is enough for the place where you are standing. As you continue walking with me, I will reveal what you need at the right time. Not too early, not too late. Exactly when your heart is ready. Receive these words into your spirit. There is freedom in not having to control everything. There is peace in releasing the need to figure out every answer. You do not have to carry the responsibility of directing your own future. That has always belonged to me. Your responsibility is much simpler. Remain close to me. Listen when I speak. Follow when I lead. Rest when I ask you to be still. That is enough. The rest is safely in my hands. Keep these words with you today. Whenever fear tells you that you must know everything before taking another step, Remember what I have spoken to your heart. You are not following an uncertain road. You are following a faithful Father, and a faithful Father never loses his children along the way. So lift your eyes from the path and look toward me. You will find that my presence is far more dependable than any plan you could ever make. Walk with quiet confidence, my beloved. You do not need to see the whole journey. You only need to keep taking the next step beside me. And with every step, you will discover that I have already been waiting there with love, with peace, and with everything your heart truly needs. My beloved child, there are still moments you remember with a quiet ache, moments when a door closed without warning, when a dream slipped through your hands, when you prayed for something with all your heart, yet the answer was not the one you hoped for. At the time, it felt like loss. It felt like disappointment. It may have even felt as though I had remained silent. But stay with me for a little longer. There is something I want you to understand. Not every closed door was meant to keep you from joy. Many of them were leading you toward it. You could only see the door that closed. I could already see the road beyond it. There were paths that looked inviting but would have left your heart weary. There were opportunities that seemed perfect but were never meant to carry the future I had prepared for you. Because I loved you, I gently turned your steps in another direction. At the time, it may have felt confusing. Today, some of it may still feel confusing. But my child, my love has never been measured by how quickly you understood my ways. It has always been revealed through my faithful care. Hold this truth close to your heart. There are prayers you are thankful I did not answer the way you once desired. There are decisions you are grateful you never made. There are places you no longer wish you had gone. You may not have realized it then, but as the years passed, you began to see my wisdom hidden inside those moments. The same will happen again. What feels unfinished today will one day become a testimony of my faithfulness. What feels confusing today will one day speak peace to your heart, not because the past has changed, but because your understanding has. Remember this, my beloved. I see every road from beginning to end. Nothing surprises me. Nothing forces me to change my plans. Even when circumstances shift unexpectedly, my purpose for your life remains steady. That is why you do not need to fear when things change around you. I have already accounted for every change before it ever reached you. Receive these words with a peaceful heart. There may still be doors that close in the days ahead. Do not let your first response be fear. Pause for a moment. Come to me first. Trust that if I allow one path to end, it is because another path is already held safely in my hands. You are never left without my direction. You are never abandoned in the middle of uncertainty. Even when you cannot immediately recognize my purpose is still there, quietly leading you, quietly protecting you, quietly bringing you closer to the future I have prepared. So do not spend your days wishing every closed door would open again. Do not keep looking behind you to see what is already past. Lift your eyes toward me instead. That is where peace is found. That is where confidence begins. Keep these words with you whenever disappointment tries to return. Let them become a gentle reminder that I have always been working for your good, even when my ways seem difficult to understand. One day, my child, you will look back with a grateful heart instead of a questioning one. You will smile at the places where you once cried. You will give thanks for the answers that never came. You will see that my hand was protecting you long before you recognized my protection. Until that day arrives, continue walking beside me. Trust my timing, trust my wisdom, trust my heart. For the Father who closed certain doors is the very same Father who has already prepared the ones that no one will ever be able to close. My beloved child, as you have listened to my voice today, I hope your heart has begun to grow a little quieter. Not because every question has already been answered, not because every circumstance has suddenly changed, but because you are beginning to remember who walks beside you. That changes everything. Stay with me just a little longer. There is one more truth I want to place gently into your heart. The very things that trouble you today will not always trouble you. The fears that keep you awake will not always have a voice. The uncertainty that feels so heavy now will not remain forever. Seasons change, and because I am the one leading your life, Every season carries a purpose. There will come a day when you look back on this very moment. You will remember the worries that seemed so overwhelming. You will remember the nights when you wondered how everything would work out. You will remember the tears that no one else knew about. And then you will see something you cannot fully see today. You will see that I never stopped leading you. Every step, every delay, every unexpected turn, every quiet season, my hand was present through them all. Hold on to this promise, my child. When that day comes, you will not only celebrate where you have arrived, you will also give thanks for the road that brought you there. Because you will realize that the difficult path taught you to trust me more deeply. The waiting taught you patience. The uncertainty taught you to depend on my voice instead of your own understanding. Even the changes you once resisted became part of the beautiful work I was doing within you. Nothing was wasted. Not one prayer, not one tear, not one moment when you chose to keep walking, even with trembling steps. I gathered them all with love. Receive these words into your spirit. Do not be afraid of the changes that are still ahead. You do not know what tomorrow holds, but you know the one who holds tomorrow, and that is enough. Whenever fear tries to convince you that the future is uncertain, remember what I have spoken to you today. I have already gone before you. I have already prepared what you cannot yet see. I have already filled your tomorrow with my presence. Before you arrive, I will already be there. Before you call my name, I will already be listening. Before your heart begins to worry, my peace will already be waiting for you. Keep this promise close, my beloved. Carry it into every new morning. Carry it into every unfamiliar season. Carry it into every decision that lies ahead. Let it become the quiet confidence that steadies your heart when everything around you seems to be changing. You never have to chase after my presence. You never have to wonder whether I will meet you on the road ahead. Wherever I ask you to walk, I will be walking with you. Wherever I ask you to wait, I will be waiting beside you. Wherever I ask you to begin again, my love will already be there before your first step. So go forward with a peaceful heart, my child. Not because the road will always be easy, but because it will never be empty of my presence. And one day, as you look back on this season, you will smile with quiet gratitude. You will see that the changes you feared were never sent to break you. They were gently leading you into the life I had been preparing for you all along. My beloved child, as this quiet moment comes to rest, I do not want you to leave with more thoughts to carry. I want you to leave with peace. The road before you may still hold questions. Some changes may still be waiting just beyond the horizon. Some answers may not arrive as quickly as you hope. But none of that changes who I am. I am still your shepherd. I am still your protector. I am still the one who goes before you. Nothing you will face tomorrow can separate you from my care. Nothing waiting ahead is greater than my wisdom. Nothing hidden from your eyes has ever been hidden from mine. So release your fears into my hands. You have carried them long enough. Let your heart become still. Let your soul rest in the certainty of my love. You do not have to force your future into place. You do not have to hold every piece of your life together by your own strength. That has never been your responsibility. It has always been mine, my child. When you wake to a new morning, remember that I am already there. When you take your next step, remember that my footsteps have gone before yours. When the unexpected comes, remember that it is never unexpected to me. And when your heart begins to wonder once again, return to this simple truth. I have never left you. I never will. From the very first step of your journey until the last, my hand will remain upon you. My love will not grow weary. My faithfulness will not fade. My promises will not fail. So rest now, my beloved. Rest without fear. Rest without striving. Rest, knowing that the future is not waiting to harm you. It is waiting to reveal more of my goodness, one day at a time. Walk into tomorrow with a peaceful heart. I will be there before you arrive. And when you finally see all that I have prepared, you will know that every change, every delay, every unseen step was gently held within my perfect love. Amen.